Hello designers, this is Rebecca and this is part 3 of your assignment 3 sustainable packaging critique. So next up we have Aubriana, and here's Aubriana's persona. This is Brody from Maine, and he's going to be a great candidate for your mouthwash. And then this is the screenshot of the spreadsheet. Really good, good, good. So here is your mind map, and this mind map could dig a little deeper. I like seeing some of these extra branches down here, and I think that if you spent just a few more minutes branching off even more from some of these individual ones, you'd get even more better results from your brainstorming. So don't just take this exercise as one thing to check off of the list of requirements for the assignment. Take the time, take just a few more minutes to really dig deep and just strengthen your concept even more by dumping out more um, brainstorming ideas, okay? And then here's your mood board, which looks fantastic, really nice, really good stuff. So I see bags of refills here, but I didn't see any bags of refills for your mock-ups. So we'll talk about that when we get to the mock-ups there. And here is here are your thumbnails and your pitch. Looks really good. Great. And so it looks like you went with number 4. And here's your brand guide. That's a really beautiful color palette. I also like these textures a lot, and Futura is my favorite font. I noticed that you used medium italic here, and I'm not sure if this is the same. It looks like it's not medium bold because it's a um, smaller size, but you definitely need another body copy font in there that shouldn't have any bold to it for, directions or instructions, or for the website for this brand, that kind of stuff. So you can't just have one font. You have to have uh, one that's going to read well at a small size too. And then here is your package mock-up. This is a really pretty mock-up. And and then here you're talking about um, more of the concept of the packaging and how it'll work, that they'll have this glass bottle that they'll refill by buying the refillable bags, but they'll just reuse the bottle over and over again. And then here's your reflection that you said you enjoyed the challenge of this assignment and that your persona came from men in your family, which I really think is really excellent. I like that you were being resourceful there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this logo. So this is all working really nicely here, but the T and the R could use a few tweaks that will make it flow even better. All right, so notice that your angle of these lines here, if you could get them to match the angle of this A, then that would really help kind of bring this together more, okay? Then the R for a Futura font, it doesn't have a hook in the leg here. This is reading like a lowercase h. So I definitely recommend just kicking that leg straight out like a real R. Okay, I mean like the real R of Futura. Then the other part is have the baseline of this T, once you adjust the lean on these stems to match the lean on the A, have the baseline of this T pull down and go along the same plane as the baseline of all this text and be at the same angle too. So right now this angle tips up a little bit higher, just a bit, just a couple degrees, but then it's also much higher here from the baseline. And same with the angle of the R. And then I want you to get real zoomed in. You're going to expand your lines of your R, which they probably already are expanded, but you'll take your direct selection tool. You're going to make a guide that goes across here, so across the baseline of all this text to pull your T to. You're going to pull that R to the stem of the R, and then you're going to pull the leg of the R to all match on that baseline. And then you're going to go with your direct select tool and pick the individual points on the bottom of each of the leg and the stem of the R and have it match the angle on that baseline. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So then the other part of this logo, you've got this super thin shading in here. And then you've got some cross hatching over here. And I was looking through your examples, and I don't really see anything like that anywhere in these futurism examples. And so I would like you to sort of mimic what you see here a little bit more. So we have some gradients, and a lot of futurism has like a speckled edge to it. Uh, this has like a brush stroke kind of, or like not even brush stroke, more like pencils, like colored pencils kind of texture to it. Here's a lot of the stippling and grain. That's what is the most characteristic, I feel like, of futurism. You even have some halftone points here, which I don't see a lot of halftone in futurism, so I would save that for later on. Like, I'm not later on, but for um, stuff for more like mid-century modern and on. And then there's also this strange shading over here, but that could be, I don't think it'll keep your logo looking as clean and modern as you're going for, you know. But this stippling sort of grain texture, I think would look really nice. The other thing is we have these sort of crescent shapes, and they're at different angles, and I'm just not quite getting the point of them. You know what I mean? Like they're, I don't know. Like I can't really tie them to transformato or to mouthwash or even to futurism, really. So when I look back at the futurism, you know, we do have geometric shapes, and you did incorporate like these little circles in your branding, like on your actual packaging. Okay, I see here. But notice that these are more actual half circles, whereas the ones in here are not. They're sort of sliced off parts of the circle. This one's closer to a half circle, but it's not even a full-on circle. And when you're working with Futura, they have these perfectly round, beautiful, you know, shapes. So I would mimic the font more than anything, and then slice those in half, you know, and just see how that looks, you know, instead. I think it'll, I think it'll look better. There's like, I'm just trying to figure out like how to uh, kind of make it just a little more cohesive, because this section right here, it's not feeling like this, the rest, like it belongs with this section. So I think with the recommendations I gave you, I think that'll help marry it all together a little bit more. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, and the reason why I am not totally crazy about these tiny little thin shading marks, I'm not even sure, that's probably not the right term, but is because when this is scaled down, those are going to disappear. You know what I mean? They're going to be so tiny, it's just going to read as gray. So, you know, I think if you want some texture, then go with like the grain stippling texture, or go with putting some more shapes in there. Okay. So transformato translates to transformed in English. And so maybe you could even make like a circle transform into a half circle, you know, like show some sort of a transition, a transformation. You know what I mean? Like tie it a little bit more, tie these icons or these shapes into the actual word or into the actual product. Okay, great. Okay, but you have a gorgeous color palette. And then for here, once you change your logo, this is a horizontal logo, so flip it 90 degrees and just have it be nice and big here, you know, on your bottle. And then this part, I just don't recommend having that. So you may actually need to find a new mockup, because the reason why I don't recommend having the box is because when we're talking about sustainable product packaging, the less packaging, the better, because it's, you know, we don't need to put a bottle in a box unless the bottle is being protected by the box and shipping. And if that's the case, that's fine. You just might want to explain that in this part here. But then we also need to see the refillable pouch. Okay. So if somebody's buying this in a store, they wouldn't have the box. But if they ordered it from the website, they would have the box to protect the bottle, right? Okay. Just want to make sure there's like a differentiation there about when the box is absolutely necessary for the packaging and when we can not use it because it's less packaging, the better. Okay. All right. Great work. Thank you. And next is Sophia. So this is Sophia's persona, Nick. He is 35 from Sedona. Beautiful place. If you haven't been, everybody go visit. It's amazing. And he is going to be perfect for your all-natural refillable deodorant. And then here is your spreadsheet. And I like that you took elements from lots of different products that you liked and kind of put that all together. Really nice. Really great. This is a wonderful mind map. I love it. I love all of the extra branching. You really dug deep in there. And I think it really strengthened your concept. I love this shield idea. It's really wonderful. It's fantastic. So I think that, taking a few extra minutes in your mind map to dig deep was really beneficial. And here's your excellent mood board. I love it. I love seeing the Squatch products on there. And that's a really good example of, men's branding and for hygiene products. Really nice. Excellent. Great. Great pieces. And then here are your thumbnails and your little pitch about the refillable deodorant. Really great. And we have an aluminum package that has refillable little deodorant sticks. I'm not sure what to call it. All right. So here is your logo and your brand guide. Really nice. The color palette's really cool. And I like the gradient in this shape. And yeah, it turned out really neat. Really nice work. Okay. I love the fonts that you chose. They match, they pair really nicely together. Yeah, looks good. So let's keep going here. This is a beautiful mock-up. This is really cool. Really nice. I love it. Okay. And then these are the refillable pods, and they're different like scents or fragrances. And so they have different colors going with that. So that's really nice. Awesome. All right. Good. And everything's recyclable. Wonderful. This is really cool. This is so cool that you found this type of mock-up. Really neat. Excellent. And then here you're just talking about that you enjoyed the project and you had a little struggle with the logo, and then you explained your concept of the shield, which I think is awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at this logo. I think that, there's just a few things I recommend doing here. I feel like the line between here should be thicker. So that would mean reducing the size of the red and just shifting the blue over so that this yellow stripe is the same thickness as the blue stripe. Okay. And then you'd have to flip and mirror whatever you did there to get the other side. I would also delete these green parts here so that the F's have a little more space to breathe. It'll appear more like there's more contrast and it'll look cleaner, look better there, okay? And then with the Forte, just make that big, like make it bigger, make it go all the way to the edge of the shield here and the edge of the shield here and like this other text. It's okay to kind of block it up in a nice rectangle. It'll look really good. So I wouldn't just adjust the tracking. I would just make the font bigger to fit that whole width. And then, yeah. And then you'll convert those to black and white. All right. And then let me go look here. Yeah, everything else looks really fantastic. I love all this formatting. Looks really beautiful. Your information hierarchy is perfection. It looks really good. Excellent work. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.